Well, I'm sure nobody's on here yet, but I thought I'd make an appearance. What do you think? If I can get this thing to want to work with me. I don't know. We'll see if anybody joins here. It's been a while since I've even been on. Looks like I got one viewer. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy? I didn't think anybody'd catch on to this real quick. Everybody must have been looking at their YouTube, or you must have been looking at your YouTube. So yeah, this is a last-second decision to do a quick live. I don't know. I don't think George does his live on Mondays anymore, so I just kind of jumped on here. Discuss a few things, but anyway, how you been doing? Trying to find something. I don't know if this is the show you want to watch. Aren't you supposed to be watching Christmas movies right about now? Just asking. For a friend. De Leon, how we doing, buddy? Now I've got two. Yeah. Got two good ones already. All right. Now I was just going to do a quick talk and kind of talk about where I've been and where I'm going. Been off for about a month, I guess, and I haven't quite made all my decisions, but yeah. Oh, did you really? What'd you order, Chris? Or are you gonna put a video out? I guess I should wait for that one, huh? You'll like it. You'll want to buy more. I'm telling you. Man, I love magnetic racing. Good stuff, man. I'd like to order more, especially after watching Shane's video on Saturday or Friday, whatever you want to call it. Saturday morning for me. Yeah, I wanted to order more right then, but yeah, I'm holding off. So I still have stuff that I haven't even put together yet myself. Only because I haven't finished the track where I wanted to go. But Easy, how you doing, buddy? Your son on tonight too? I've caught a few videos from people. I haven't been yeah, there we go. How you doing, Colt? See, I got a few people on here just for the heck of it. Like I said, I was telling Chris, it was a last minute decision to do this live. I don't think anybody else is doing a live right now, so hopefully I'm not. It's under your name. Oh, you already did the video? Well, I apologize. When I took my break, I kind of just slid away from as much of it as I could. I wasn't watching videos, and I'm trying to catch up now, but I was totally just wiped out on the whole thing. I had made a decision to separate my trains and my slot cars, and everybody kind of agreed with it. And then I was like, but that goes away from what I wanted to do in the first place. The problem is I'm taking up too much space in too many areas. So I'm still under the notion that I want to put them back together in one room, be done with it. And unfortunately, I've already tore everything down that I started on that, with my last track layout. It's very, very, very difficult. And that's why I say, why can't it be both? It's very difficult to get both of them to combine together without separating them on the layout itself, because you can move slot cars up and down fast over hills and go over the train, but a train can't go over the slot cars easily because it needs more room. And it's proving to be difficult to get the scenery I'm wanting to get out of it. And I did this last year too. I got to this point right here at Christmas when I'm supposed to be shining off with all my Christmas layout for everybody to see, and yeah. And it comes down to that room was a Christmas room, and hey, no drama. How you doing, buddy? It was a Christmas room, and I struggle with it every year. I did talk to Shane about it a little bit when I first started this. I said I told him I was taking a break. I haven't talked to him too much lately. Matter of fact, I haven't talked to too much of anybody lately. The Fingers did reach out to me the other day, and I talked to him and talked to him about a few of these things. Just trying to. sometimes it's hard to understand, in a men's health situation, which was what my Thursday nights were supposed to be, and it's kind of it's still there, but it's not really touched on men's health so much. Why is it we struggle to talk to each other about things in a more private situation? Like, if we're having an issue, most of the time everybody will just say, hey, how do you do this to fix your slot car track in this way? And people will generally answer it in a chat, but we don't ever actually just very, very rare do we get together and go, hey, let's solve this issue. Or let's say, well, in my case, I'm trying to build a slot car track with a train. They're not to scale. I'm not a scale guy. If I was going to do that, I would separate them. But it's a magical world of Christmas, and that's what I've always celebrated. So I don't feel like I should have to separate them, but I do need help sometimes with ideas. But I'm afraid to ask for them because, sometimes I think the way I think and everybody else thinks is a little silly. So I don't ask, and I'm afraid to do it. I don't know why men are that way. We promote this strength that we sometimes don't always have. So, I don't know if any of you guys agree with me, or understood what I just said. I'm just winging it tonight. I found that I was off the last 4 days. I was cleaning both these rooms, and I'm like, man, I'm just taking up too much space. I don't know where to go from here or how to make this work. You'll build an HO train set. See, and I started off with O scale because I thought, well, it's the bigger. My eyesight's not the best. It's actually getting terrible. I gotta go get my vision checked. I still haven't done it. Well, and that's what I want to do, Chris. But sometimes you feel like you second guess yourself. You kind of and like YouTube. I was doing so much YouTube, watching YouTube, promoting my own channels with YouTube, and doing that. YouTube was consuming my life, and I wasn't having any time to work on anything else. And then I was running out of things to actually chat about. I didn't have any updates because I wasn't working on anything. Hey, Rich, how you doing? So you just wing it every day, no drama. Well, I mean, most of the time, I think most of us do. I don't use a track planner. I've always been one of those guys that I like to see what I come up with on my own. Now with slot car tracks, it's a little dangerous doing that because you keep wearing out the track a little bit, going back, taking it apart, putting it back together, taking it apart, putting it back. Trains, it's a lot worse. I use fast track. So if you're using fast track and you keep taking that apart, eventually you're going to have problems. And I do have problems with some of my track now when you put it together. Unless you're going to link each track one by one to each other, which is a lot of work. Yes, yeah, and don't get me wrong, I was enjoying myself because I like talking to everybody. I was, and I hated to miss anything, so I was always trying to watch. And at work, it's not usually a problem, but when I get home, even my own live on Thursday nights was becoming a hassle because I was trying to work on something, and now you got to stop, take the time off to do the live, and then try to jump back into it for the weekend when you actually wanted to get something to a certain point by the weekend so you could actually do what you had originally planned. Does that make any sense? Hey, Clearwater. So anyway, I took a month off. I just got really frustrated with all of it. Harry, how you doing, buddy? Other than I did watch Slaughter's Advent calendar this morning. I didn't see yesterday's yet, but I saw today's. I won't lie, I love Slaughter's Advent calendar. I like Mrs. Slaughter's jokes because they're simple. I usually don't like slapstick comedy like that, but it goes good. It's that time of year where we can have that kind of fun. I don't even drink coffee. I mean, that just goes with that. If you disagree with me or anything, I definitely want you guys to speak out. Like I said, this is a men's health kind of thing. We have a hobby for us to escape our realities and stuff, but sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. Kind of what I'm doing tonight. Just trying to talk to everybody and get it off my chest, I guess. That's the best way to put it. I jumped into the hobby really fast and hard. I say that, but I bought my slot car track 3 years before I ever started doing YouTubing and everything. And I only had the 160 curves. I never tried to buy anything extra. I got for my birthday the following year after I first bought it. My daughter got me, what was it? 4 pieces of straight track, box straight track. So I had 4 in each one. And anyway, then my mom bought me the same thing for my birthday. So I had a ton of straights. And one of my first layouts was actually, I already had a train down, and I made it go over the top of the train, going up and down, up, angling back and forth across shelves. So, and then it would get up to the top, and then it would come back down at an angle in front of it and come back down to the ground, and then it would S curve all the way back up to the start again. It was kind of cool, but you know, I didn't have any room for buildings, or because I like scenery on my layouts. Oh, you leaving already, Colt? Merry Christmas, buddy. Hopefully it's a good year for you. I'll be watching. Oh, that was, yeah, see? Now Harry's coming in and saying hi, but he's actually leaving. Yeah, who was it I saw today? Digger has built a bigger table. I was talking to him. I seen his today briefly. You started collecting last November, Chris. Well, along with track, you get crazy and you start buying cars. That was the other reason I wasn't watching videos. I didn't want to know anybody who knew cars. I seem to spend a lot of money there. I bought about 40 cars this year, versus my 60 last year. So I'm right at 100 cars. Then I bought 3 trains this year. So I have a total of 6 trains, which cannot be put on one layout easily. And I don't think I'm trying to. I did talk to the Fingers about that. I wish he was here. Because you don't have to have 6 trains on the layout. I was like, no, I don't. But 5 out of the 6 are all Christmas trains. So I don't go into the big boy stuff. Yeah, even the big boy steam engine. Yeah, we need a 10-step program. Well, this is my first step on my new program. Good one, Chris. It is a very addictive hobby. I enjoy it. I love it. I mean, plus just talking to everybody, and you get to enjoy it with everybody else. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, we talked about that once, Clearwater. I never did anything. I might be, because that's all I collect is line. I like MTH. Has got a few things. I got a MTH bridge, Christmas lighted bridge that you guys have seen in the background of some of my videos. It's that red bridge. It actually lights up. I just never have it lit up for you guys. Hey, Chad. I'm trying to return to this. Like I said, I was telling people, hey, Pat. Hi, all you champions. We're all champions, except for Pat. He's the champion right now. You seen his layout? That is beautiful. I know he's got a little bit more work with the sanding. Did you finish the sanding? I didn't understand from talking to you and yeah, darn it, slot car hub. I think got to sand a little of the joints, I guess, and then that track looks great. I think that looks like a lot of fun. Did you sit? I don't know if you sent me pictures. Not Clearwater. See, that was part of the problem. I was watching so much YouTube, I was forgetting to do the rest of my life, getting things done. Yeah, well, like this year, I put up Christmas lights over this last week, and I've sent some pictures out to some of you. Nothing fancy, but last year I was so into YouTube, and I didn't put them up to the last minute, and it looked sloppy. Matter of fact, I even got a neighbor to say, "Yeah, you're gonna do a better job this year." And usually everybody looks forward to my Christmas lights. Made me feel bad. I was like, and even my wife said it. She goes, "Well, I hope you do a better job than you did last year." Yeah, that was today, wasn't it? Or was that technically yesterday, Pat? I'm not sure what time. You're on Tuesday, aren't you? But how did it go? Yeah, who doesn't love Pat's new track, man? You got a hell of a deal, and you're bringing something back to life. That is awesome. Exactly, De Leon. I was out of control myself. There's not something I still don't want. It's just I broke my golden rule, which was to never go in debt for a hobby. and I have a little debt on it because I got crazy. So until I pay that off, I'm not doing that kind of thing. And then I was so busy buying cars, I wasn't upgrading any of the cars I did have. Just like well, Tad'll be in there on that one. Building cars and stuff like that. I didn't have time to build them. That was the problem. And then, when I had time, I didn't understand what I was trying to do. So I'm only talking from my point of view tonight, guys. You guys are more than welcome to jump in, say your point of views on things. It's lacking in everybody calls it a community. I guess it's a good term. I'm not a group guy. I don't like putting a name on a group. We're just hobbyists. I guess that's a group name too, but I can't win, can I? But you know what I'm trying to say. We're all individuals. We just happen to get together to discuss slot cars and anymore, just a little bit more than that. We like to talk about our lives, and it's nice to be able to talk to somebody else just out of the blue for some reason. There's plenty of us. I talk to many of you, as a matter of fact. Funny though, Tad only talks to me when he's on my live, and he's the guy who lives the closest to me. John Tucci, how you doing, buddy? Not much light here tonight. I've been redoing my office too. It's not done yet, but yeah. So anyway, I was watching videos again today. I watched a few here and there along the last few weeks, but I apologize. It wasn't I was trying to ignore anybody. I would just burn out. Yeah, that's the word for it. Now, nobody else is doing it live tonight, are they? Does anybody know? I didn't want to step on any toes. I was going to wait till Thursday, but I didn't feel like I needed to wait till Thursday. I needed to get this out. No, 143rd is not, and that actually would grow great with my O-scale trains. And I have a track. Actually, I got one set up back. Matter of fact, it's the only track I got set up right now is a 143rd slot car track that I had in this room right next to me, where I was going to put my trains. And then, I got indecisive, decided to change my mind. Because the Christmas room is probably going to end up having it all, and I'm going to build the whole room a gigantic table. Now that's going to be a struggle because you won't be able to get around it. I'm just going to have to buy the long arms, but usually it's just me anyway. So I was going to build it lower so I can get on the table a little easier. Scale and pat. Joe is on. Joe. Oh, is he on in 15 minutes? I didn't realize that. Sorry. I did see something from him earlier today. Or maybe it was yesterday's post. I don't know. I don't want to walk anybody's toes. Smoke if you got them. No one I know that smokes in here besides me is Pat. Well, De Leon smokes cigars from time to time, don't you? Or did you give those up? I like a good cigar once in a while. Oh, he's about an hour away from you? Is Marty's the elusive fish that you can't find? See, and I don't live that far from all those guys either, really. Let me think. It takes me about, I'd say 4 hours to get to Cincinnati. He's a little north of there. In a car, I mean, and I'm saying that in a truck. I could get to Cincinnati in 4 hours, 4.5. So in a car, if I could do the speed limit all the time, even through Indiana being 65, yeah, I'd be there a little sooner than that. I could be there probably definitely 4 hours. Go up and visit, but I don't know anything about the area, so it's kind of hard for me to go, well, where do I stay for a hotel? I just haven't looked. I haven't researched it. Yeah, I'm in Indiana, right at the southern tip. Kind of the tri-state, the Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana line are all right here. One of you knew. Who was it? See, I stepped away too long. Excessive personalities take on many forms. Now, my dad's a modeler. He's actually worried at this point that he's not going to be able to get all the models he has bought over the years He's not sure he can get it done, and he's worried about where they're going to go when he goes. And I told him I'd take them here, and maybe I'd probably build some of them just to be models, because a couple of them are mine, to be honest. And then the others, I could put some into cars and then make some others into slot cars, depending if I can find all the pieces, because that's his problem with his. He'll work on one car, but then he switches to another car, and then he gets parts all swapped in different boxes. And yeah, he tells me all the time how it's a nightmare. The Kentucky River, or Kentucky, is right across the river, the Ohio River from me. I mean, it's right there. But yeah. Yep. I wouldn't swim in the freaking Ohio River, though. Actually, I don't know if I'd swim in lake. I used to swim in lakes growing up. I was always water skiing. That's how I stayed in shape back then. We grew up camping. I went to Lake Shelbyville in Illinois. We were there almost every weekend as a kid, all the way up till, somewhere in high school. Then I moved down to Indiana with my dad, and then I've been out to Virginia, Quantico in Virginia, and then I went up to Newport, Rhode Island, and then I moved back to Illinois, and then I moved back down here. So I've done my share of circles. That's why, another reason why I don't keep a lot of friends that I've said before, and the fingers kind of gave me crap about one time, made me feel bad. I always moved around, so I never got to keep very many friends. It's hard to keep long distance relationships with people. Unless you got a YouTube channel, then we can talk all the time, right? So my dilemma right now is trying to figure out how to make the trains blend with the slot cars. And I've looked, there's not much on YouTube, and what they do have is not what I'm looking for. I did see one, I think Lee Slot Cars posted one where the train was in the middle of the layout, and the track just basically went around the outside edge. Honestly, anywhere from $1 to set. Yeah, because I bought some models when I was going to build those cars, and they were going for $40 a piece. I remember when it was like, at my age, it was $15-20 to buy a model, and then you had to buy your glue, you had to buy your paints, and Indiana wants you to go back. Well, I got my brother to move from Illinois to Indiana, so I mean, but he lives up in Columbus, so not Ohio, Indiana. But what I thought you should symbol all the models. Well, when I was younger, I mean, that's what we did. Me and my brother and my dad, we all sit down in his hobby room, and we'd sit there and just build models while watching TV. Even he had cable back then. That was rare because we didn't have cable at our house when I was a kid. I grew up on a farm, but he ended up getting rid of it because of MTV. He couldn't get us to stop watching it. Because there's no reason to watch this. Well, good evening. I guess fuck you. That's what it says, right? But yeah. Chad, are you laughing at the MTV thing, or are you laughing at wow. So I never got to go overseas. I've moved around a lot. I did kindergarten was in one in Illinois, but I can't remember Muhammad Seymour, I think. And then I went from first grade to freshman year at St. Joe Ogden outside of Champaign-Urbana. And then I moved down here and went to Boonville High School. And then my senior year, we moved out to Virginia, and I went to North Stafford High School. Not for long, but I didn't get there in time to play football. I didn't get time there. I mean, So I had nothing when I got there. It was kind of depressing. Yeah, De Leon. I figured you were doing a lot of that moving stuff, so there ain't nothing fun about moving. There's the fingers. Yeah, I know the fingers. No notice. I just decided to pop it on and go. I already talked about your part of it and how I talked to you about a few things. I was just talking about the hobbies in general and the men's health part of it, because sometimes we don't talk enough. We'll struggle through something, or if we don't really understand, we'll act like we do and go on, or maybe nobody else does that, but I do, and I consider myself fairly intelligent, but sometimes I just don't grasp it. You got certain areas you got your strengths. The fingers is not late. Come on now. Is the fingers ever really late? I mean, everybody's always happy to see him as soon as he gets here. Oh, that's funny. No, I just the fingers. I just decided to go. I couldn't wait till Thursday. Now I might still do on Thursday, but I doubt it. I know Joe's coming on in 15 minutes. Some of you will probably jump off. I just wanted to be brief and talk about things. So my Christmas project is going to fail again this year. That's 2 years in a row I failed you guys on a Christmas, and I'm the Christmas guy. Everybody was waiting for the Christmas scene. I've been trying to work out a detail on a layout. I got to check the numbers. I haven't done the math since I got home. I get out the old ruler and start running some stuff. Yeah, kind of the same thing, Chris. I've done many things in my life. The fingers is everywhere. And whether anybody wants to admit or not, he's a great friend. He's a great friend. Yeah, he manages to have time to come and see everybody and talk to you if you need to be talked to, and I consider him a really good friend. So, yeah, life does happen. I'm not too upset about it. I mean, a little bit, because I said it last year, and I said, okay, watch this next year, I'll have it ready. And here we are at the end of the year, and I tore it all apart again. League of Champions, how we doing, buddy? So it's 1854. Is he starting at 7? Or whatever time he starts from where he's at? You gotta go, Pat. Why are you going already? It's still early in the morning for you. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, Pat. I'll talk to you soon. Gotta get Pat on the next live again. I've had it. Yeah. Digger was on that first live that I did with somebody on there, and I just finally saw a video of his today with that new table built out, and I was like, wow, okay. He was all about the men's health part too, so they're supposed to be, Ted, and that's where I was at. I was stressed out. I was just like, I felt like, how do I explain it? Well, you know how it goes when you get into anything. My problem is I usually go big, and usually it's too much for me to take on at once. And I've been struggling with this for 4 years, trying to come up with what I consider a good track layout. I mean, I've come up with some, but then it doesn't work with the other part of the project, which is the trains. So then I'm back to square one. The last one, I was trying to put the trains separate from it. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to intermingle with each other, whether it be mountain tunnels or whatever. But then you got to make sure you have scenery to be able to see your car all times you race on the track. Like I said, most time it's me. There's nobody else to race with. So it wouldn't bother me if I did it that way. But if one of you guys ever were in the area and you wanted to stop by, you'd be like, hey, I can't see my damn car, man. You went into that mountain tunnel and it never came out. I'd never put a mountain tunnel over a freaking corner, though. I'd always put it across the straight. So there's no worries there. What we got there? Pizza time? Pizza time? Is that what that says? So I told you my eyesight sucks. Well, and that's what I've done, DeLeon. For the last few years, I've been trying to force it into a certain way. And I don't even know if it can be done. I've seen quite a few people who have done slot cars and trains, but the slot cars is usually really small because they're more into the trains. Or it's vice versa. They're more into the trains than they are the slot cars. And see, I'm not about maximizing my table. That's one of the hardest problems with any of us doing anything. You look for a career slot car track plan, or you look at a train, try to get a train layout idea. Everybody wants to maximize their table. Well, I'm not looking to maximize my table. I'm trying to keep it simple. I want to build race cars that it's fun to race, not just a circle. But I want it to, zigzag and do a few things here and there and have an overpass. Same with the trains. I want them to have, they don't necessarily, in real life, trains don't change levels. There's no such thing as changing levels of trains. They don't have an up and a down. The track has to be level all the way across. But now they do, like they do roads, they instead of, used to be we had tunnels for trains to go through. Most of them are closed now because they made the track go around it now. They don't want to go through the mountain. They go around it. So, but they keep the same elevation for the most part. Ovals are fun to film. It's a lot easier to show a skylight of it, and you can go, "Hey, there's my car." And I'm not knocking anybody who does that. I'm not a big circle fan, even though when I was a kid, that the HO track we had was kind of the square circle. Went to all the corners, and in the middle it had a little loop that went inward, and did a quick turn and went back out, and that's all we had, and it was a blast because we couldn't control the cars because we were kids. We were throwing them all over the place, except for those G Plus cars. Oh, that Ferrari I had, and there was I forget what the other one was. The pink. I want to say it was the pink Marlboro car. Formula Ones. Badass cars. Yes. The figures are saying hello to everybody. Yeah, I just thought I'd come in here and say what's been going on and where I've been. Like I said, I haven't talked to too many people. I talked to the Fingers a little bit. I talked to Pat a little bit. Shane a little bit. Not very much lately. I think. Well, I don't know what happened there. I honestly don't. We did talk a little bit this last weekend, so ovals are fun to film. Yeah, I don't like it too. I don't either. I like to have a little. I honestly like just the figure eights, really, with some long straightaways here and there, which is kind of where my track was always going. Yes, it's snowing right now. As a matter of fact, the Fingers. We got this afternoon. It started snowing again. They're saying greater than an inch of accumulation, but I don't see it. I am not set up to do that, Clearwater. Nope. Christmas does. Matter of fact, that's why I put out a video, or I did the little. So Saturday night it started snowing here, and it started in the afternoon. It was real light flurries, and I'm downstairs. There's only two windows I can see out of. They're in this room next to me, and I seen it was snowing, but didn't pay much attention to it. Like, yeah, it'll be over here soon. We never get snow here like I like it. I go up to go home, go to bed that night. I was like, 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that. My daughter's upstairs with her boyfriend watching TV, and she goes, "Have you seen the snow outside?" I'm like, "No," and I let the dogs out. I was like, "Holy shit!" So I ran downstairs real quick, grabbed my phone, ran out front, and started videotaping a quick 47-second video of my lights on in the snow, and I've sent it to a few of you. Because if it doesn't snow at Christmas time, I leave my lights on the house until it does. I have to have that video of the snow, and then this one I wanted to send mainly to the people who don't get snow, like the Australian boys down there. Because you hear them in their wintertime. It's cold around here, man. No, this is cold. Not only it's like 36 degrees, but the snow's coming down, and then tomorrow it's going to be like below 32. Is that where you're at right now? 3? I know it's supposed to be cold tonight. I have no idea. I haven't looked. It's cold out there. I was doing my first load after Thanksgiving, and I don't like coats, so I only wear hoodies. But yeah, I was freezing pretty good. Just a dusty. Yeah, my mom's lives up north. I'm trying to think of the name of the town. Not Champaign Urbana anymore. She lives north of Danville, Illinois. Anyway, yeah, she's like, we didn't get no snow up here, and I'm like, and then I guess a guy just north of us that works for us, he's out of Princeton, Indiana. Not Princeton. Damn it. Anyway, he said they didn't see any snow either. No snow in Florida, huh? I would have thought you guys would have got some snow this year. Matter of fact, my supervisor was looking for routes today when I came back in, and of course I don't go over the road anymore, guys. I stay local. He said something about he had one up on his display going to Alabama, and I'm like, screw that. I never went south, or I tried not to go south in the wintertime, ever. You know, most people think, well, it's warmer down there. Yes, but if they ever get anything, they don't know how to take care of the roads. They do not. I used to go to Georgia all the time. They had that ice storm a couple years back, and they stopped us on the highway and told us to get off. And we had to park at this truck stop. It was packed. We were all in there at the restaurant. They made good money that night. Yeah, eventually we're going to have alligators up here, though, Tucci. Dojo, how we doing, buddy? Long time no see, right? Like I said, I didn't want to block. I'm already walking on top of Joe's video live stream tonight. I didn't realize he had one. I didn't even see it posted for one, but I just want to get out here and chit chat a little bit about issues and where I want to go and what I've been doing wrong. Another thing men don't do, we don't admit when we're wrong, right? I wasn't wrong, I just didn't do it right. But if my wife asks, it's always I did the right thing. I was the smarter one of the two. If she just listened to me, is what I always tell her. If you would have just listened to me, it wouldn't have turned out that way. And she goes, right. Anyway, no, we got anacondas up here. Matter of fact, in Chandler, right next to us, there's a reptile store. I don't know why they bring those around anymore. You know, have they not figured out that these are wild animals? I mean, I'd like to have a bear for a pet. You know what I mean? But I know that damn thing's going to kill me when it gets older. unless I treat it right, like properly, and take it to a sanctuary before it gets too, then it can come and give me a hug when I come back 10 years later because it remembers me. That's the problem. Most people don't know. They just want the animal. They don't know what it takes to, and they don't know the signs. I mean, even people that do have gotten mauled by their own animals. So, yeah, I don't see any reason to put wild animals in my house. I got enough wild animals with my Yukon dog. He's wild. You'll watch the replay to see what you missed on on Joe's channel. Yeah, I'll have to watch it now because I walked on him, and I'd end it, but everybody's having a good time here talking. So at least John Tucci's got a happy face on his last post. And we're talking about no alligators or anacondas here, but we do have bears. There's one located just north of us here. It's still Warwick County, which is where I live. They found a bear up there. We're pushing all these animals out. That's the sad part, because we build and we build and we build and we build. Instead of renovating what we have, we just keep building. Or at least this area does. It's ridiculous. They are starting to renovate the downtown area, so it's getting better. But they're in Evansville. That was turning into the hood, and it was getting pretty bad. Nobody even wanted to go downtown, and they've been putting a lot of money down there. So, mine? You're gonna come back and watch it? You didn't miss that much, the fingers. I was just talking about me trying to get the track layout the way I want it, and quit listening to everybody else, and kind of, well, that sounds wrong, but quit listening to the other voices in my head and do the layout I wanted to do. Again, I'm not about scale. I want it to be close, obviously, but if any of you ever had a Christmas village, your wife or you built a Christmas village, you know damn well the building, none of them are the right size. The doors are different sizes on each building. It's however they made it that time, you know. Even if you buy the same brand, like St. Nicholasville was the first building I got. I got it from believe it or not, a junkyard guy goes, "This guy was throwing it away. Do you want it?" Well, I'll have Christmas. I'll take it home. That's where I started my Christmas village. Yeah, the more I think, the longer it takes. Yeah. Well, that's why I was taking this time off. I was trying to get away from it. I actually did some gaming for a little while. I just didn't want to think about it anymore. I was just so overwhelmed with it. Yep, I'm an overthinker as well. And that's how I usually talk. I usually talk already thinking of every possible answer somebody's going to give me, so I have something to say. I overthink it that bad. I even thought that up before I got on here. What are people going to say? Let's see. You do, because somebody had mentioned me separating the trains from the slot cars. And everybody knows I had that train up on the top and the slot cars below. And I listened to them and I ripped it all down. Matter of fact, I've got 2 of those tables in this room. I've got 3 in the other room. I have 2 frames that are still built up to go in one of those rooms. And I did it all because it wasn't just them. It was me. That was a Christmas room for my kids when they were growing up. It was always the Christmas room. And every year around Christmas, I get upset because we don't use that room now. I've heard that, Ted. So we're geniuses. You're right. We tend to overthink too much, and because we want to know every possible outcome. I mean, I actually take medication to calm my head down because I overthink too much. That's why I'm getting better about focusing on what I'm going to say versus slapping a bunch of material out there that nobody knows what you're talking about. So, yeah. Well, I think all of us in this hobby that have anything to do with any of these hobbies is an overthinker anyway. You know, it's not just slapping a car on a track and running around, and it's learning how to build the track right, how to control your car on the track. I mean, it takes skill. People don't realize that. And it kills me. I mean, I was like today, I'm starting to get Matchbox videos all the time on my YouTube, and I see where it's coming from, and because everybody's building those ramps and having little races. What was that? There's one channel that was just been doing it for a while, and now they're getting more and more people are doing it. Well, it's a lot cheaper. You just buy a bunch of track. You just got to come up with a genius way to make the cars go all the way through the whole track and come out at the end, and you can make a race. So it's taken on popularity. Well, how do we do that with slot cars? Slot cars have picked up. Trains are coming back also. According to some of the stats, I wished I had them well me right now. I'd seen some stats on a couple of things, and I know trains are definitely making a comeback. Slot cars are sliding back up, so they're on the way up. Matchbox cars are obviously taking off. I think it's because people are looking for something better to do with their time. I won't lie. I played video games for the last 4 weeks. Not all the time. I'd play in bursts. I'd play 2 or 3 games, and I'd be off for 4 hours, and I'd come back and play another one or something. But I was playing with my sons. We were just having some fun with it. But yeah, they are. The one guy, he does it. And I think the first one was started off. The guy was on a treadmill with them. Remember those? I thought that was genius. He was putting a bunch of cars. He put like 30 cars on a treadmill, and they just started up, and the cars would run. And as they wiped out, or whichever one stayed at the front was the winner. By the time it was done, that was actually pretty. I was like, I almost thought about getting a treadmill just for that reason. Not for me, for the cars. I've got my son loves Hot Wheels cars, so I have got a gigantic box full of them, like one of those big Christmas tree boxes, you know, the Rubbermaid, full of cars, and I've got a bunch of track in there too. At one time, I wanted to put them on display on the walls, but I just never have done it. I just keep them because someday, you know, I'll have grandkids here. They'll be playing with their dad's cars. You know what I mean? Because every year he wanted the, you know, the 5-box set, or I didn't buy anything in particular. The ones I really bought that were kind of for me were the Ferraris, but and I had those separated for a long time, but then I finally let them play with them. Because I'm a cool dad that way. You know, value of money. Yes, that's what makes Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels probably a little more popular right now. Money's not good. Yeah. 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 The money I've spent on hobbies, I would have quite a bit of money in my pocket, really. And I don't regret anything. Maybe I shouldn't have done it when I did it. You know, a lot of things I needed for the track or scenery for the track, and I'd spend it buying another slot car. Yes, stompers were awesome in the 80s. God, who didn't have stompers? Those were freaking awesome with the weight sled. You always made sure you put a fresh battery in so you could try and beat the other guy. And if you had the rubber tires and you had those ones that were foam tires, the foam tires seemed to do a little better. Yeah, DeLeon, you got a nice setup. Yeah, you gotta teach them the respect of it. Yeah, and yeah. Are you asking that as a question or different tires altogether, Ted? Because I remember having foam tires versus some of them were rubber tires. They all kind of had the same tread marks on them. Like I had a G Poncho. God, wish I still had that thing. Yeah, foam tires. Yeah, but then some of them had that rubbery. Yeah, God, I used to have a shit ton of those things. Me, my brother, my stepdad, and some of our friends, that we all got together and run those things all the time. Happy Monday, Toju. How you been, buddy? I think I've watched a couple of your videos lately. Like I said, I haven't watched Big Money on eBay now. Yeah. Yeah, I looked them up. I think you brought it up one time in a live, and I went and looked at it. I was like, holy shit, they're up there in price. Like, I'd just like to have one again. I think they still make a version of them now, but they're not the same thing. One for $350. Jesus Christ. They even had I think one of us had it was a Bigfoot edition. I think that's what it was. That was back when Bigfoot was the first real big monster truck. Yeah, with a Ford too, and believe it or not, there ain't nothing about Ford or Chevy on any of those cars anymore. Yeah, that's not possible. It may be a Ford truck, but it's got something else under the hood because it's just a frame. And that's the body on it. Ford might support them, but ew, Ford. I know. I tell Rob Sales that all the time. Like his video today of today or yesterday or a couple days ago. I watched a couple of his today, and he had the one with all his Fords on there, and I was like, so you know, this was an excellent video, all except for the part, if you edit out the part that says Ford on it, on anything that says Ford, this would be an excellent video. Then he showed his surplus of cars, and he goes, did you see the Camaro? I said, oh yeah, I definitely caught the Camaro, number 10, yellow. I've been giving him crap. It's just, that's banter. We go back and forth on Chevy and Ford. I'm not here to make money. Yeah. It kills me how many people you have to, because you see these other people that are just making it big, and then you go, okay, well, what if I did that? What if I came up with some idea that would work that way? Most of these are girls or guys talking about shit we don't even know anything about. Not in our age group. But they're making a fortune. Yeah, stompers. Yeah. Were you really? The Baja bug? That is awesome. You know, you put that on a video, just don't tell anybody where you live. You'll have all us 80s guys going, oh shit. You keep those in the safe? Don't answer that question. Never mind. Alien's got quite a collection of quite a few things in the car category. Probably a few other things as well. I wasn't that smart when I was younger. I didn't try to hold on to anything. The only value it had was me playing with it, and if it got destroyed, it got destroyed. Matter of fact, if you ask my mom, I was terrible with cars. I'd take bricks and smash them. They said the Tonka truck was back when they were made of metal. They were indestructible. I put it on a register vent and melted the tires on it. And then I took a brick to it and smashed the whole thing up. And it still worked, though. Yeah. Now, I did some creative things with that, too. Especially with my stepsister's Barbies. Yeah. You kind of look like what's his name room in Toy Story. I had all kinds of fun with that. Yeah, I do remember that. Now that you brought it up. No kid, that's something to remember. That is something to remember. That would be cool. You got pictures of that of any kind? Like, did your dad take pictures or something? Exactly, something like that. And I took some Masters of the Universe that got broke too, and put them together. So we were very creative with stuff when we were kids. Like Masters of the Universe, we had a few of them a piece, me and my brother, and we took cylinder bricks, the double cylinder bricks, and we were stacking them up, making castles out of them, and we'd have wars with each other. We lived on a farm, so we used a lot of dirt clods from the farm. Started throwing them at each other, throwing each other's castles, trying to break things. Stepdad didn't get too happy about that because sometimes we broke the bricks, and he put those in the back of his truck in the wintertime. That's all they were for. But we played with them all summer long that way. But then again, back then you had to be creative like that. We didn't have the money for the Castle Grayskull back in the day. If everybody remembers that bad boy. I think I seen one, and somebody had painted it, and it was dirt cheap. And I almost bought it. I was going to just strip it down and try and get it redone, but because I always wanted one, never got it. You ever had that kind of thing? Heads or not heads. Oh, we used to do some crazy things. She had everything Barbie. Jesus, it was ridiculous. Well, my sister too. The Barbie van, which we and my brother didn't mind using the van to play around with them on. We'd crash it into them. And that's right. Yeah, the toys we had back then, we had to come up with our own creative stuff. There wasn't always a. Never had the aircraft carrier. My brother got into the GI Joes. I had a few just to play with him. He had the jet, the helicopters. He had the jeeps. He had the, I had the one. What was he? The chameleon, the one that you got. If you got him wet, he changed colors. I had a few of those, and I used to collect. I wanted them because I liked the cards. My brother started that. He started collecting the cards. He had them in a little folder thing that sat on our desk in our bedroom, and yeah. No kidding. That's just that's. How you doing, Alex? I need to talk to you soon because something's not coming through for me on a on a Christmas present I was working on, and might have to talk to you soon. Just be looking for my call. uh, yeah, yeah. That was it. It was blue with the teeth on the front, and that was it. Yeah. I played with somebody else's $6 million man when I didn't have school. I stayed at this person in the same area as we lived in. I played with that, and she had the little building that with the table that he laid on and to be fixed and this, that, and the other. And I don't know. I just thought it was cool, but I don't remember a whole lot about it. But I had an Evel Knievel bike. Uh, I ended up stripping the freaking plastic gearing on it. It didn't have the metal one, so it was a later version, I guess. Lincoln Logs, loved building those. We had my dad got me, it was like an erector set, but it wasn't an erector set. It was all plastic, and you could build structures and everything out of it. And we had these, I don't know, they were die cast metal, but they were like it had a tank had like a tank back end and a car that you could launch off of it. And we had, me and my brother would set up wars with that stuff. And yeah, good old toys. That's right. Kids these days don't know what a toy is anymore. No, not an erection set, Tad. All right, your mind's going somewhere else. Mattel football. I never got into that. Never could play that damn thing. I can now. Matter of fact, who had one of those recently? I looked at it. Like, let me try this out. I was fine now, but back in the day, I could not play that thing. What, the erection set? I don't remember. It was all plastic. It had like it's very similar to what you would see in an erector set, but it was all plastic, and you got these thin little pieces that you put on the two pegs to hold the things together, and sometimes you can make them swivel if you didn't hook them somewhere else. And it was so hard back. We all complained about our childhoods. It really was not bad. We never had a lot. We just you had the vibrating football game. Those were cool. Didn't have any control over it. Hey, I remember I got my first remote control car. It could only back up one direction, to turn. And that's how you turn the car anyway. It may have been a early version of Connect. You might be right there. You might be right. And they still make stuff now. As a matter of fact, they make when I was looking into the roller coaster thing, I was talking to Doug with Magnetic Racing about coming up with a roller coaster. And I was going to order a design or a model that I could put together, and I was going to try and figure out how we could get the dimensions and try to make a roller coaster for slot car tracks, for anybody who likes to theme things. And of course, the guy never sent it. Ended up refunding my money. The Turbo Hopper, yeah, I remember those. My buddy Keith had one. I didn't have one. My first remote control car, I think it was called RC for RC Cola. Had the stickers on it and everything else, and had one button. You just pushed it, and it turned the car around backwards, and you turned it until you got where you wanted to go. The black one, loved that car. I want to say his was green. I don't remember. It was pretty cool. But now I got into the Maruri Big Bear later on. I got all A's in school, so I could get my parents to buy me a Maruri Big Bear, and it took me. I don't remember, honestly. It took me a couple of weeks to put the thing together. You had to put the whole thing together. Got it together. It was down at the high school football field, and I was running around over there with my buddy Matt, and it got out of control, and I couldn't control it, and it was on a road, and a car ran over it. Yep, that was the end of my RC days. I was done after that. My brother bought that for his kids, where it actually shot infrared at each other, and you could stop. It would stop the tank and blow it up technically, and then you couldn't move for so long. Or if you played a certain mode, it would shut it off altogether, and you had the other tanks. And he had 3 boys, so he had one for him and 3 for his boys, and they ended up giving them to me, but they didn't work right when I got them, so I ended up getting rid of them. What were the Hot Wheels with internal battery sizzlers? So yeah, the ones that rumbled. I don't remember having any. I don't think I did, but I remember them. Yeah, it's just funny. I mean, you really think about it, Hot Wheels and Matchbox have been around freaking ever, making the same, die-cast metal cars. I always liked Hot Wheels originally was all metal all the time, and then they started doing the plastic bottoms, and like Matchbox was already doing. So, yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted an RC chopper, but if I tried to fly one of those back in that day, I heard it was a nightmare. So, when they came out with those air hogs by Nerf, I bought one of those helicopters, and I ran it above my dog's head so they'd have to chase it until my Anatolian Shepherd Great Pyrenees mix could reach the ceiling and grab the damn thing out of the air. That was the end of that one. Let's see. I don't remember those. Are you talking about the RCs? Lightning rods. That may be. I think that sounds familiar. Sometimes you wonder what happened to all those great toys. Oh, I can tell you what happened to some. They said, "Oh, the kids might get hurt off of that." Nobody gave a shit about us when we were playing. Metal monkey bars and chains on our swings with no plastic sleeve on them. Everything but the swing was metal except for the swing seat. It was actually, well, they had to have some plastic ones in my time, but most of them were wood. So if it came back and hit you, it knocked you in the choppers. You might have lost a tooth out of it. Oh no, that's not safe. We gotta get rid of that. I know, we grew up so tough. These kids will never know. Shit, they'll never know. Yeah, the Murray Big Bear. Yeah, that was an awesome truck. It was, but it sucked. Yeah, me and my stepdad spent a couple weeks on that thing, hours trying to build that thing right. I mean, we get it to a certain point, and then we realize we did something wrong. We have to go back. You're right. We're tougher because of it, the fingers. We're gonna go. Oh, that hurt. I'm not gonna repeat all the other things you see on the videos now. X, Y, and Z coming through a doorway and hitting themselves on something. Yeah. But we didn't know any different. That's just how we were raised. You took the damage and you just kept going. You didn't care. Nope. I don't know. I really don't know, Rich. How did we survive that? Because, man, they act like it's illegal now. Yeah, we jump ramps all day on bikes. Yeah, we built out of usually a slim piece of wood and a brick or something, or some logs that was not sturdy enough to hold it, but we did it anyway. And then when we go flipping through the air, bike land on top of us. We're all cut up on the gravel or the. Oh, you got an old track around still? What was it? I think I know what you're talking about now. Okay, the Sizzler. It was an oval track, wasn't it? And they had a little battery in them, and if you got them to go, they'd go around the track and go around and go around. A buddy of mine had something like that, and the batteries were getting kind of weak in it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I got some boxing gloves for my kids once. We got them a punching bag for Christmas, as a matter of fact. It was actually for all four boys and one girl. So, because at that time everybody's getting on each other's nerves, they were always screaming at each other. And I said, "Yeah, well, if you feel angry that something somebody said to you, go down and hit the bag for." Yeah, we had one that was down there all the time, constantly punching that bag. It was me. I was constantly punching that bag. I was like, "Damn it!" But I got the wraps, I got the gloves, got the bag. Drilled the hole in my floor joist so I could get it to clamp through. We had it for a long time. Then I took it down. That was one of the years my basement flooded and it ruined the bag, so I ended up throwing it all out. I think we still have the gloves somewhere. Yeah, I don't know how he got his to work, Rob. Um, I don't talk to him anymore. He left our job, and after he left the job, he won't reach out to any of us now. Yet we were like his best friends when we were all working together. But yeah, he had one, and you had to give it a little tap tap, but it would go around the track, and it's kind of cool. I didn't know about him before then. We had a friend with a mini bike. We rode that thing for the whole weekend. So you could run it and break it again, huh? That's how you do it. That's how we did everything back then. You wore it out. I mean, our original bikes me and my brother had were the banana seat bikes that we got for Christmas, and they had the Western style on them. Later on, we ended up getting some red. I got some red tires for mine, and he got some yellow tires for his, dirt tires. We put those on. We took the banana seats off, put regular seat. I mean, we changed the bike over time. They still had the Western. Well, they didn't have the chain guard anymore, but loved my bikes. I mean, that was our only freedom, really. On the farm, we weren't allowed to drive into town until we got older. No, when we were riding our bikes to Champaign to go to the swimming pool, and that was further than going in town. And Mom was okay with that. We'd get on our bikes and paddle all the way to Champaign Urbana. I think it was about 14 miles, and then we'd get done swimming. It was a bitch to come back because we were tired. 3-horse Briggs. Back when Briggs and Stratton was a good motor. Now they're all junk. I mean, I believed in them up until what was it I bought? I bought a riding lawnmower and I had a Briggs and Stratton, and it lasted out its warranty, but then it fell apart after that. Um, for no reason, but every year I had struggled to get it running again, so it was just I got tired of it. Mini bikes. The crazy shit we used to do and didn't worry about getting hurt. Now we'd think about it twice. We'd go, nah, probably not for me. No fixing skills. Yeah, I have, Rob. Yep. Couldn't afford no Diamondbacks or Mongooses back in the day, and I still can't afford them now. But there was kids that brought them to school every day. You're like, you just thought you were in awe over it, and well, Mongoose kind of went cheap because now you can buy them at Walmart for next to nothing sometimes. But the old ones were good. Yeah, but it's funny. You sometimes you wonder, was it the kids that made it popular, or the name brand so big, or was it the parents making it out to be big? Because Cabbage Patch Dolls. I never understood why those things were such a craze. They were ugly. Maybe that's just because I'm a guy, but I mean, there's a lot of people that agree with me. They're like, they're the ugliest thing in the world, but they were the most popular thing in the world. People are killing each other over those things. Yeah, my sister got one. I don't remember what mom said she had to do to get it, but she got it. Probably stole it from somebody's house. I mean, people were breaking into people's houses. They were following them home, grabbing those things out of there. I remember all the stories about it. You're like, Jesus, it's a freaking doll. Now people are doing it over Xboxes and PlayStations. And see, I'm starting to loop out of the camera, ain't I? You got an 83 PK for mini frame. You got to put it back together. It'd sell faster. See, maybe now you have the skills, Toshu. Yeah, the Cabbage Patch Kids. I mean, we even made those garbage Pale Kid cards popular. They come with that dried out piece of gum. Yet we had to buy them because we wanted the new cards. And now they're worth money too. Some of them are. No kidding. You still have some of those cards, Rich? Jesus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stickers. Oh yeah, I got in trouble for that saying to my kids. They were talking about stickers one day. I had no idea what they were talking about. I was like, yeah, we used to collect stickers. I think up till 6th grade or something like that. I was like, yeah, we had sticker books and everything. They were talking about stickers being erotic dancers or strippers. I had no idea, so I looked like the idiot. You know, I don't even know why we made stickers so popular. You stuck them once, they were over with. But then your teachers started giving them out for as rewards for getting top grades and stuff, and we were all pushing our asses off to freaking earn our next sticker. They came to life, Tad. Yeah, they came to life. Genie babies, beanie babies. Yeah, Chucky versus. Now that would be a movie I'd pay to see. Not Mrs. Chucky. Chucky versus Cabbage. Oh, that'd be awesome. No kidding. There was some money. The guy who had that Matchbox or slot card, whatever that Matchbox track, his wife at the time, that's what she collected. She had a whole room full of them. She said there was a real big market still for them. I'm like, they just creeped me out. Gremlins. I was just watching Gremlins earlier when I got home, Tad. It was on the TV. I went ahead and started for, and my daughter and her boyfriend are up there. He asked, "You ever seen Gremlins?" Goes, no, don't even know what that is. I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me? You need to watch it." As soon as I stepped out of the room because I was coming down here, and you're done, right? And he switched over to gaming so he could go play his games. But yeah, Gremlins was awesome. I call it a Christmas movie because it took place at Christmas, and my wife disagrees with me. But I also believe that Nakatomi Plaza was taking place at Christmas time, and therefore, Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie. Even though Bruce Willis came out and said it wasn't. It was a Bruce Willis film. You watched that a couple days ago? It is a classic. One of the last movies you saw Phoebe Cates play in. She's still as hot as she was back then. Jesus. Just older. Yeah, for that time frame, technically that was a pretty violent film. It didn't scare me though. But the one that got me back in the day was the original versions of Creepshow, because Michael Jackson still was popular. I think I've talked about this before. Now that I brought it up, this guy wanting his cake, and he's got all these maggots hanging out of his eye sockets, and it scared me. It just creeped me out so bad that every time I heard that movie or that song, because it was number one on the radio, I listened to the countdown going to sleep. Yeah, he did. She gave up acting for that guy, though. That was the part that was weird. Creep Show did rule. It was a great series. I've watched it several times since then. And you look at it and go, that was, I don't know why the hell I was ever scared of it, but come to the beach, Richard. The roach one's probably the goriest one out of all of them when they came out of his body there at the end. Then you had that monster in the box. What was that called? That was just a weird episode. Yeah, but it was. PCM. The crate. That was it. Yep, you're right. I mean, yeah, of course, one night somebody decided to open the box because something was alive in it, and it killed all these people, and then they towed it off, threw it right back in the freaking place where it came from. And I obviously at the end you could tell they didn't get the chain right. Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, I used to have a thing for that skeleton guy. I always wanted one of those to put in my house. Yeah, the crate was on. It was on the. Look at all sinister. Yes, we're gonna look sinister. I could do it if I get that mask off the wall. Oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, the skeleton dude from there. But the crate was on the original Creep Show. It was like the second or third episode. You out of here, drama? Yeah, I meant to end a long time ago, but just talking, having a good time. I originally just wanted to get all that crap off my chest and maybe break my mind free from all the bullshit I go through with it. Like I said, I overthink everything, and it just does not leave my head. Why can't what be both? Well, the original topic was slot cars and trains, and I've been trying for years to try and get them together and have them right. And why can't it be both? And I'm having a hard time with it, and some people have brought it up. Rooms are not. I got tables in them. I got train track on one table, all the train track I have, and all the trains and buildings and that I bought along the way. And then I have on the other table is all my slot car track, which I'm still finishing taking back apart, so it's all broke down into individual pieces again. So when I go to put something back together, I can do it the way I need to do it instead of having to pull everything apart at the time I'm doing it. The only piece that won't be changed is my pit lane because I got my axle box still on it, so I won't take that apart. I could have room, but it'll cause the problem with what I'm having is, so I can get both on a layout. Interchanging them with each other, kind of got an idea that you'd have to do your slot cars more than your trains because you need a lot of space for a train to go up in elevation. So, but the problem is it'd make it so the table is not something you can walk around, and I'd have to have long extenders. And I guess the thing is, I say most of the time I'm running by myself, so it wouldn't be a big deal to me. But if let's say you guys came over and wanted to race with me, we're all gonna be lined up on one side, and it's not where somebody can grab that car if it falls off on the other side and put it back on the track real quick. You're gonna have to stop basically the whole race and get the hand, and be able to get to it. So I wish I knew how to do that. I know HO guys have done that stuff, and they don't explain it very well, but I wish you could do that because I got enough freaking spare track that I could practice and try and do it. And if I could make crossings and then have something that stops the car if the train's going across, Yeah, because I've got crossing arms that go with the Lionel sets, but yeah, I just don't have. Yeah, Exactly. Tyco had it, and I don't think it was Lionel. It was another brand. But I know guys that you watch on their videos on YouTube, they actually build them themselves, and I'm like, if I could figure out how to do it, I would try to do something like that. And then that way you can set up some kind of a chip or something that stops the car from, because I've seen it in one Christmas video. A guy has a slot car track in 1/32. He's using a G scale train, so he's keeping it close to the same size. And when the train comes across, the car stops on its own. You can't force it to go across. It'll stop the car at the railroad crossing if the train's crossing, and then when it passes it, it can take off again. And if I could figure out how to build one, I really need to talk to somebody who knows how to build them. Is what I need to do. The videos just don't show enough for you to. I know you got to break the current, so you got to have the train current constant so the train can run through, but you got to have it broke so the slot car can go through even after the train's gone. So I know you're going to have a blank spot there that you have to run over, or it's going to be just like our lane changes where it stops. You know, when you stop the car in that lane change, you can't get it to go again because it's in a dead spot. We've all been there, at least if you've had digital. Well, I've said this for 2 years, Dad, and somebody always, including myself, convinces me to pull it apart. I was on my way this last year. Well, what was my last video? Beginning of November, end of October, somewhere in there. Well, the thing is, I like my cars, and I don't like them falling off the track just to break a freaking wing off, let alone hitting my trains too. And that becomes a very, very expensive hobby at that point because I collect Lionel, so Lionel's not cheap. I've actually gotten to the point I'm buying older Lionel cars, and I plan to paint them to get the schemes I want for passenger trains or passenger cars, or it's just easier to do it that. If you try to buy a Christmas train, or now even Halloween trains through Lionel, you're going to pay out the ass, period. And Halloween is more expensive. I do have a Halloween train. First one I bought this year, and it was first. It's not the basic train; it's the second one where it smokes all the time. It doesn't. It's not quite digital, but it's not. Anyway, make a long story short. Yeah, and I got it. It's a second grade train, and I got it for a good price. That's the only reason I got it. And it was brand new. But you're buying a set of a train, you're talking $400-$500 for the newer ones. If you're looking for one that's just a couple years old, you're looking at $600-$700 just for the first set. Then that doesn't include track. And fast track, you pull it apart enough times, it doesn't want to give a good connection, even if you bend the tabs to try and make it rub. You end up having to solder them, which is where I'm at right now. I've taken the track apart so many times. Now, I did buy 3 new trains this year, so I have 2 new tracks with the 3 trains I bought. But, so that's helped a little bit. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, I've been buying and like I said, I have 6 trains right now. 5 out of the 6 are Christmas trains. That was all I ever bought them for, was to make a Christmas layout. And I had trains when I was a kid, but that was originally what this whole thing was supposed to be. Slot cars, trains, and village pieces was all supposed to be one big, not one big layout. It was actually going to be a smaller layout. Just sit in my Christmas room that stayed Christmas all year round, but I could play on it and this, that, and the other. Then I got involved with YouTube and thought I had to go bigger because everybody likes the big tracks, right? I've actually seen quite a few smaller tracks that I'm like, short, simple. It's got enough curves and it's got a crossover. I like it. And here I am trying to make a 20-foot freaking table. And yeah, train hobby is mostly rebuilding the old locomotives. Yeah, a lot of people do. Well, yeah, and I listen to you guys and say, yeah, do what you want, Eric, and I've been trying to do that, but it's shit. I'm not gonna even lie about it. It's my own insecurities of you guys liking it after I build it, because you guys are my friends, and you don't want to disappoint your friends when they see it. Go, Well, dude, you can't even get around your track to freaking pick up a car. That sucks because you guys are slot car guys. You know what I mean? I do that to myself. It's me overthinking everything. Yeah, I'm a steam locomotive. I prefer those. I have one freight train right now, and that's the Santa Fe with the war bonnet, red war bonnet on the front, and that's only because I had one when I was a kid, and that was the first train I bought. And then I started buying Christmas trains. I got a Frosty the Snowman train. I've got the Polar Express twice. Actually, I've got 3 times, but only 2 trains, and neither of them work. Then I've got the Christmas Slide Express. I've got another one. It's the engine and tender for it, but it doesn't have the rest of it. I just bought the train. And then I bought another train that's doesn't work with anything I have, but it's the body of the same train I already have that doesn't work, and I'm going to swap the bodies over and the computer chip over so I can run it because I can't find the parts for it. So I just bought another one. And I bought some buildings this year. All of them are Christmas themed. So yeah, I should have gone to HO, but when I was, like I said, I was thinking of my vision at the time. As I got older, I was like, man, my vision's not what it used to be. I went to O scale. Plus, I like the fact that at that time, the cars lit up on passenger trains, and you could put the people in them, this, that, and the other. And then HO's now, well, Lionel HO is doing that now, and they're actually putting sounds with them. I could care less about the sounds. Hey, Chad, don't get me started. I had to print a plane the other day because they wanted $118 for a rail car for Lionel that had Santa Claus's reindeer plane that sat on it with the wings folded up. I was like, I could buy a plastic plane for that price. Well, then I came home and printed one. It's the exact same. Actually, it's the same plane. It just ain't painted up like that. All I got to do is figure out how to paint it. Sand it down a little bit, paint it up. I got that plane for. I didn't need the car. I was going to hang it from the ceiling anyway. So, yeah, it's just how you look at things. And that's what I did that with I was originally going to have a Halloween train right before I stopped putting videos out. And I had pumpkins. I printed out some pumpkins that had lights in them. And I took an Ohio gondola car, and I stuffed it full of foam and put the pumpkins on there, and had I think a couple gravestones and stuff like that. Anyway, I like the creative side of everything because you can make it whatever you want it to be. I have that kind of imagination. Or if you listen to my mom, I live in the clouds. My mom's the one that taught me to be so Christmas oriented and enjoy Christmas. So, she's to blame. And now she's the one that doesn't. She always goes kind of the bah humbug now. She's like, Christmas ain't the same after your kids grow up. They're not. It's not. Absolutely right. It's not. But you got to find your own way. Could you imagine? Oh my God, Ted. That would have been awesome, wouldn't it? I was going to buy a resin, but I figured out how to print the people. If I put them on their backs, I only have to do a little bit of light sanding on the backside of the people, and the print comes out really good. And when you paint it, you can't tell the difference. So I'm backing off the resin printer for now. I'm still staying with the filament. I may change my mind next year, but we'll see. Yeah. Hell, I don't even think they sell Chilton catalogs anymore. My dad always told me as I was growing up, any car you own, first thing you do is go buy a Chilton's catalog for it so you know how to fix the damn thing. And they didn't tell me it would be in such gibberish that I couldn't understand the reading. Yeah, the future is not as bright as I thought it would be. You know what I mean? We're too self-reliant on electronics. Yeah, as I say that, we're playing with slot cars and trains, right? I think you know what I mean. It's like one guy was talking about this morning about phones. He goes, "This lady's on her freaking phone, not going when the light turns green." I'm like, when I was over the road, I counted how many people didn't have a phone on their lap while I was driving past them. It was a lot less than the ones that did. It kills me that phone has ruled our lives. Just the phone. we'd rather know who's texting us than what car just stopped in front of us or who we're getting ready to pull out in front of because, oh, Joe sent me a message. I got to check that out. So the future's not great. It certainly ain't where we thought it would be. I thought we'd be flying cars by now. I've done that. My new truck. Well, as a matter of fact, that was the bad news I had recently. Last week, a girl I trained on driving, I had said she couldn't back up. I put her on a load that I had 2 loads that day. This was right before Thanksgiving. So I put her on the one load. I took her over there. I backed it in for her, set her all up, drove back in the company truck, parked it, but I parked it with 3 spaces between my pickup truck and it. Just because I was too lazy to go put it back on the other side of the building. But anyway, so then I take off and go do the other load. I text her to make sure she's doing all right. And she's, yeah, I'm heading back now, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I get this, I fucked up. She backed into my pickup truck with the trailer. Didn't do a lot of damage from what I can see. It broke the headlight on the passenger side and somehow hit my fog light, pushed it out, and then grabbed the bumper and pulled it back forward. Not sure how the hell all this happened. And then, she's being apologetic. I said, I left you 3 open spaces for a semi and a trailer to park in. How did you hit my truck? Well, I was worried about the company truck. The company truck that's got dents and everything else in it. It's just used for going to pick up your truck from a shop and dropping it off at our mechanic shop or whatever. It's just to go to and from. And yeah, I was mad. And then they go, oh, can you take her tomorrow too? And that was Wednesday. And I was like, no, I can't. Can't do it. They didn't offer. The guy offered for our mechanics to fix it at their shop, trying to get out of the money. I said, no, I'm going to get estimates, blah, 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 blah. They didn't do a police report because they said it was on private property. I was like, it doesn't matter. They didn't offer it. I wasn't there. They took care of everything without doing anything. So, and then today they were trying to say I signed off on her being okay to drive, and I didn't. She can drive forward. She just couldn't back. That's what it was. And I'm not blaming her. I'm not. Other than she had 3 open spots, and why she got so close to my truck, and the other truck was 3 spaces over, and she was trying to avoid it and still hit my truck. Makes no sense to me. So anyway, my truck's ugly right now. I'm one of those people that I can't stand a scratch on my damn truck. Bed, don't care. You can throw anything in there, bricks, whatever. 22 and 23 passenger buses. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I thought she'd have the backing kind of down. She says she camps all the time. She has a camper, and she's a single lady. So, and she went camping the first week she rode with me. Like, well, this is basically just a bigger camper. That's all it is. However you back your camper into a parking space at a campground is the same thing you do with a trailer. She's, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, CDL. Yep. But she can't. She overcorrects every time. Anyway, that's a sad story. It'll get fixed eventually when I get to it. I figure they got to pay me while I go to get the estimates done because I have to take time off from work to do it. So I told them today, you're going to pay me for it then. I can't say I haven't backed into something before. I have. I backed into another truck. On my own yard, same kind of situation. It was nighttime. They parked across the back of the trailer row. Didn't even know they were there. I went to back it in, and the only empty spot there was, and I hit his mirror on his truck and smashed it. This was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I called up my boss. He wasn't really happy with me about that. He goes, well, don't worry about it. The guy shouldn't have parked there. I keep telling him not to park there. He's going to be the one to pay for it. I was like, oh, shit. I was still kind of new at that site. I've been driving for 3 years at that point. But now we're closing in on 20. Whew. I've been with this company, 16 years in March. So Yes, there's a lot of funny stories. But I did. I felt bad as soon as I hit it. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. And, yeah, called him at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I'm automatically the first guy I'll report anything. I just, people go, oh, I'm going to lose my job. Well, if I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose my job, but they're going to know about it because I don't want to hear that shit, you know. I mean, to me, that's shady if you don't report it because you're trying to be it's like you're trying to get away with something. It's like stealing money from them. So you're going to let that guy take responsibility when they see his truck that way, even though you're the one that did it. So, yeah. Now, this guy in particular, you got to, I guess, I don't know if he made him pay for it or not, but, you know, either way, he had a bent up mirror on one side. Guarantee he wasn't using it for driving down the road. God, I've talked about all kinds of shit tonight. We all talked about all kinds of shit. And I ended up with how I got my truck broke. They're like, we can get some clear tape and put it over there. I was like, well, you need to do something before the lens gets wet. I have the HID lights with the projection. If that ever gets water to it while it's hot, it's going to explode in that thing. Yeah, here, Ted. Yeah, it's getting late. What time is it? Oh, it's only 8 o'clock. What are we going to bed for? Yeah, it's good to see you too, Tad. I probably need to get off here, let you guys get back to your work and stuff or whatever you were working on. I just wanted to get out there and say, you know, I'm not gone. I'm still going to do the same crazy crap I do as far as talking. I do want to work a little more on the men's health side. So that's kind of why I started this one. There's more to help me this time. Sorry, guys. I used you. But, yeah. You got to hear too, Rich? Yeah, I seen that. So yeah, I haven't put one around the Christmas tree in a long time. I have 2 G scale trains I put around the Christmas tree at one time, but don't do it anymore. Anyway, so everybody have a good night. There's only 3 of you left watching anyway. So I'm gonna guess it's Rich, the Fingers, and it was Tad if he hasn't left already. So y'all have a good night. Thanks for listening to me. I'll be in touch again soon. You guys will see me starting to watch the channels a little more than I was, but I'm not gonna go back to the way I was, watching everything and not getting anything done. So good night, everybody.